Awesome, everybody. Welcome to the 3 questions you must answer to be able to hire an associate. We have an awesome show planned, super fun. We give out super free stuff. To get started, I want to share with you what is the deal with dental Facebook groups. Why do they give out free stuff? Why do they have sponsors? I made a video talking about one of my favorite things, Mexican food, this past weekend to share with you. So maybe you're new to Facebook groups and what happens in them. When I grew up in dentistry, we have a lot of young dentists here, which is awesome. Dental students, we didn't have any of this. There was no Facebook, there was no Instagram, there was no Snapchat, nothing, just you and your friends sitting around at dental school. If they didn't know the answer, you were out of luck. But when it comes to going out into the whole social media world, it's a whole thing. I get it. Is this person trying to sell me something? Take advantage of me. I encourage you, research before you buy anything. You don't have to buy anything, whether it's on a Facebook group or at Costco, but lean forward and find out about awesome stuff. Because I personally have learned so much from being in Facebook groups. I've made awesome connections. So I wanted to show you my video here. We're going to start our show in just a second.
Totally free parks. Philadelphia, many totally free parks. Philadelphia is my favorite place. It's where I live. I love walking around. I love getting coffee. And I love checking out parks. It's a totally free park. I think it's nice. You could sit here, drink your coffee, sit on a bench. You could meet other people. It's totally free. Now, if I walk outside the park, still attached to the park, and you look down here, they have people that are selling empanadas in these little stands. I think that is pretty cool. If you want to buy some empanadas, you can walk outside of the park and buy some empanadas. But you don't have to buy anything. You can just enjoy this totally free park. So if you like empanadas, if I like empanadas, I can walk out and buy them. If not, I can enjoy this park. What's the point of this? This is what Facebook groups are like. This is what these awesome groups, I run one called Dental Nachos. I also am a customer of other ones. I don't even know if I'm a customer. Somebody just take the free stuff. So I was like, can you be a customer if you just take free stuff? But I've learned so much from these groups. I bought product for my office. I found out about technology. I've gotten coupons on stuff. The Facebook group founders work so hard with their sponsors to get you deals. And there's so much time that goes into maintaining these free parks. So the way to do it is to put these little empanada stands around the park. And what I think is really, really awesome is that we have total control as a consumer. If I don't want to buy empanadas, I don't have to. But maybe some people do want to buy empanadas. Maybe you just want to find out that they have empanadas and you need empanadas later in your life when you go to buy a practice. So my message to you as a consumer, Paul Goodman, as the founder of Dental Nachos, Dr. Nacho, real doctor to me, I think we just need to embrace how awesome this is. Because back in the day, I had to get on a train and go all the way to New York City to look at a chamfer burn and see if I can get a deal. True story. It was like the Oregon Trail. I had to move my physical self miles and miles to see what was out there. Now we can see online, and then we can go check it out at in-person events. Huge fan of in-person events. We got to see each other face to face. But this has made our shopping versatile. This has made finding out about new stuff. Like in the beginning of this entire thing, when I started Del Nacho, we found out about Swell, one of our sponsors. It's awesome. It makes us feel good about what we do. It helps us with online reviews. We would not have found out about that. My brother found out about that one without the power of these awesome Facebook groups. So I'd love you to share with me. If you have any questions about how they're run, I can talk about Dental Nachos. If you have any concerns, if you want to give us any compliments, that's awesome. But I think we just want to embrace that we get to be part of these free virtual parks. Sometimes we buy empanadas, sometimes we don't buy empanadas. It's all up to us. If I can help you in any way, just reach out to me at dentalnachos.com.
Should dental associates get a daily safety net guarantee? When you go to work as a dental associate, should you be provided with a base pay no matter what? This is Paul, Dr. Nacho Goodman, and my answer to that question is yes. I'm going to be sharing tips on how to hire an associate and find a job without burning your nachos. This is a super fun and super free show where I'm going to teach you the 3 questions to ask and know how to answer to be successful in this bonding process between dentists. Get it? Bonding process. Also, if you text KARMA to 215-543-6454, we're going to text you back a totally free CE gift. So join me for this awesome show where we're going to go over these questions and you can ask questions too. To get the link to the show, just text HIRE to 215-543-6454. If you happen to be scrolling by this after the show has ended, no worries, as the kids say. Text HIRE to 215-543-6454 anyway, and we will text you back a recording of the show. The better information we share as associates, practice owners, team members to create environments for success for the people that are in our office, the better it is for anyone. If you have any questions about how we help dentists find associates or help you find a job, just reach out to us at Dentist Job Connect by emailing jobconnect@dentalnachos.com. Should dental So we are here tonight to help you make a better decision, make your life a little bit better. Finding a job, buying a practice, hiring an associate, selling your practice, the four major decisions. But in between that all, we need to increase our success, decrease stress, and reduce the number of times we feel like crying inside a day. So we are so lucky at Dental Nachos to have awesome sponsors. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. All right, cool. So Tal, you can start your video. So we are here tonight to help. Hold on one sec, Tal. I just got to make your life. Be done with that. Cool. All right, great. So we have Tal from Sunbit here, one of our awesome sponsors. He's going to tell us what does Sunbit do to do the thing we all want to do less of, cry less on the inside. Why don't I see me? Hold on. Sorry, Tal. Cry less on the inside, smile more. So Tal, take it away. Share with us, what does Sunbit do?
Awesome, guys. Appreciate you having me here. I'm one of the founders of Sunbit. What we do is buy now, pay later, right? Smile now, pay later. We're a patient financing solution for dentists. We've got a really unique product. The premises of this story is that 40% of Americans don't have access to $400. That is, again, I'll say it, 40% of Americans, $400. And an average dental treatment costs $1,200, right? So you take those two things together and we have a problem, right? Most of customers cannot afford the dental treatment. So what we developed, and I'm actually going to run you through a product demo right here, is a product for the dental office. I have an iPad in my hand. You can see it on the screen. And I'm actually, Paul, I'm going to pick on you. You've got a $2,000, dental treatment.
People picking on me. I can take it.
Okay, $2,000 dental treatment. You're not smiling anymore, right? That's expensive. Don't worry. I've got Sunbit's product here. What I'm going to ask you is I'm going to ask you for your driver's license. You can see I've got your driver's license. I'm going to flip it over. It's going to scan the back of your driver's license. Okay. And then basically, Paul, what I'll ask you to do, there's a button here on the bottom, agree and check your rates. You can see it on my tablet also. So Paul hits agree and checks his rates. Congrats.
Look at that.
Been approved. $4,100. That was the full live process. Paul, I didn't ask you how much money you make. I didn't ask you for your social security. Do you rent? Do you own? We were able to do that through the driver's license. For all of you guys that work in offices, the alternative is this scary thing, which I know you all know, right? It's, the paper forms, been there, done that, right? So we got Paul approved. This didn't impact his credit score. It took 30 seconds, and we approved 90% of customers. So every customer is 500 FICO and above. Okay, so Paul, you're excited. You've got $4,100. Let's put that $2,000, which seemed like a lot of money a few seconds ago. And what I can do, I'm basically building you a payment plan. Paul, you can pay over 6, 12, or 18 months. Okay, so if you look at 6 months, Paul, you'll pay $1 today. We're taking that $1,999, splitting it over 6 payments of $333, no interest. Great.
That's awesome.
Does that make it easier for you?
It makes it super easy.
Paul, you know what? $333 a month is still a lot of money in this economy. We can go to 12 months, but I actually want to take it to 18 months because I want to show there's some options with APR. So Paul, if you want to split it over 18 months, you'll pay $1 today. Now here you can see you've got an APR. You see that $14.99 there? That is $13 a month and a total of $245. So if you look at the bottom right corner, I'm doing some fancy math here. Instead of $2,000, you're going to pay $2,245. But it's basically splitting it over 18 months with $124 a month.
I want to compliment you, Tal. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
That was one of the best
demos
we've ever had. It was one of the best demos we ever had. It was fast. It was easy. We get it, right? Too many times I have people on and they take too long. So this is exactly what a patient wants. They hear about what they need, a crown, root canal and crown. Tell us a little bit about those options, though. 2 of them didn't have any interest associated with it.
Yeah. So what we do, how do we approve all the customers? How do we approve the 500, 550, 600 FICO customer? These offers are personalized. So the amount of money, Paul, you got approved for $4,000, it goes up to $10,000. So that was personalized. By the way, I'm an immigrant. I'm still building my credit, so I get $4,000. So That's one thing, it's personalized. The down payment is personalized and the APR is personalized. But from the office manager perspective, 90% of people get approved. Congrats, Paul, you've got $4,000, we can do the treatment. So the beautiful thing here is that we're basically, regardless of what treatment you're doing, we scan the driver's license, we approve the customer for an amount, and now the customer and the office manager know they have something to work with.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's awesome. I mean, I've been a dentist for 19 years. We've used everything from Care Credit, that's a sponsor, Compassionate Finds as a sponsor, Sunbit, that's a sponsor. There's so many options. Think of it like running sneakers that you can use to help your patients. So one of the things I want to just pull back is patient financing is necessary to figure out to help people chew and smile with confidence. Dental school doesn't talk about money, it says go out into the real world, and you realize there's so much talk about money. So you can't help anyone with their problems until you figure out how to help them pay. What I think is really cool about Sunbit here, Tal, is that you have found this ability to finance everyday dentistry. This isn't $50,000 cases. Tell us about some of the offices that are using it. Is it easy to implement with an iPad? What do they have to do next? They say, hey, I want to test that out. I want to look at it. What do they do next?
So I'll show off. We have over 1,000 dentist office on the program. We're adding 150 a month. So we're growing very, very fast. And again, the reason we're growing is, if you think about it, there's a thing, called case acceptance rate, right? Case acceptance rate in offices is between 30 to 50%. What does that mean? The customer came in, he sat on the seat, we recommended the treatment. More than half of them walk out without getting the treatment, right? So that's, in my mind, that's the biggest problem we have to do.
Yeah.
Like, we can spend on marketing, we can spend a lot of things. Okay, so we're solving a real problem. Now, the offices, I said it before, the average transaction is $1,200, right? And basically, I see a question there. The office gets paid tomorrow. So regardless if Paul chose 12, 6, 24, 18 months, the office gets paid tomorrow. They don't wait, right?
That was a good question.
The way
friend who'll be a panelist next time, not tonight, not presentable, but to next time she will do it, which I appreciate. But great question. Let me just read it for the audience. So if a patient chooses the 18-month payment option, how long until the practice or dentist gets their money, or do they also have to wait 18 months? So answer that for us, Tal.
So they get the money tomorrow. Okay, you guys are not in the lending business. So what we do as a company, we do the math, we take the risk, we pay you tomorrow. There's no chargebacks. I can't pick up the phone to the doctor and say, hey, Paul didn't pay me on payment number 6. I'm sorry, right? So you got paid, and we collect the monthly payments from the customer, which I think is important. Right. So at the end of the day, it's simple from the office perspective.
And also what we're doing is, the pandemic has caused, I think, a lot of us to have authentic conversations on so many topics in our life: mental health, physical fitness, family relationships. But I think, Tal, money is a big one of them. And it's shown that sometimes just giving people the option to not put $4,000 down in that moment might be their best option, right? And many of them will pick the no interest. So I really credit you guys for being a JBN sponsor in making people feel a little less weird about money. Is that how it's working out in practice with your dentists that are using it?
Yeah, and I'll tell you guys, you're going to see this now. There's this buy now, pay later trend online on Amazon. You can buy a Peloton online.
Good. The Peloton's very into buy now, pay later.
There's a ton of things you can buy now, pay later in e-commerce, right? We're bringing that to the dentist because your customers are going to get used to saying, hey, we buy now, pay later a T-shirt, right, in an e-commerce site. Now I come to the dentist, you hit me with $2,000. What do? And our answer is, smile now, pay later. So we're bringing that online trend into the offices.
And we have a couple good questions. Let me do the reading of them, Todd, just so that it can be for our awesome recording, because one day 5 million people will watch this. That's my goal, 5 million views. So if the person who asked it could restore it on Instagram and start getting us to 5 million views. But good questions. What happens if a patient chooses halfway through the treatment, they no longer want to continue? We've completed 2 of the 4,000. Do they have to just keep paying until they finish paying all 2,000?
So think about the process. So the quick answer is we paid the dentist and we're collecting the monthly payments from the customer. Now, if the customer decides to stop the treatment in the middle and the dentist says, yes, I agree, here, customer, here's half of your money back, that half of the money goes to Sunbit and we return the payments to the customer, right? So think about it like a credit card transaction, right? From your perspective, guys, it's a credit card transaction. You don't know when I swipe my credit card if I pay it up front, if I pay it after a month or every 2. So it's 100% like a credit card transaction. If you're going to tell the customer, yeah, you're off the hook for the second half, you need to let us know because we need to pay the customer back.
I like that. And also, and it really is a good question. And I would have asked this more if I was in dental school, but being in 19 years, I lived my life in the most. And in my entire 19 years, the amount of refunds I've had to give has not been a big deal. Sometimes you give a refund out of patient service. They just didn't get your expectations. Sometimes the work didn't work out and it's the best refund you get. So while it's an awesome question, it's probably very rare, I would say, in your world to have to deal with this. Just like a credit card. So good question. Same question from that person is, how does Sunbit profit if the patient chooses the no interest? Yep. Is there an annual fee to service?
Perfect, guys. So first of all, there's no such thing as free money. Like if anybody offers it, my father told me there's no such thing as free lunch, by the way, but he's a bit extreme. But so the way our model works, the customer pays something and the office pays something. So there's a merchant fee. There's a percent of the transaction that the office is paying. So when we pay the office the next business day, it's minus a percent. It could be, and it depends on, and it's like Care Credit. Guys, you guys are using Care Credit. There's a percent that you're paying Care Credit, right? So it's very, very similar. So we make some of our money from the customers, some of the money from the office. And the thought process here is, Paul was about to leave without getting the treatment. You're going to pay, call it 5%.
I say is what percentage is most often the one the office has to pay? And I'll explain why. I want to explain why this is okay in a second, because I'll tell you about my financial system. I definitely want Morgan, you to tell my office about Sunbit, but tell me, what is the most often percentage? Just give me a most often. We won't hold you to it.
So I don't want to do most often. It depends if it's a prime or a subprime customer. I'm getting a bit technical here, but I'll just explain it. So right now, Care Credit and all these providers are approving the prime customers, right? And you're paying them 5, 6, there's a percent there. We're cheaper for the prime customers. Okay, so we're costing you less for those. The subprime customers are more expensive. Why? Because they're higher risk, right? That could reach to 15%, 1.5. Okay, so we've got these tiers methods, but ultimately you're paying less than you would pay on whatever financing you've got in your store. And for customers who get declined by everybody else, yes, we're approving them. Yes, they're higher risk. Yes, we're not charging them a lot, but Mr. Doctor, you're going to have to help.
So would you be fair to say 5 to 10% is the range?
Yeah, and in average it's 11 because we have more subprime customers than prime customers. Does that make sense? Like the people who need help.
With my awesome people who are watching, especially Nacho ambassadors, our office offers 5% payment in full courtesy no matter what. So if somebody pays with a check, we give them that to get them to pay in full over $1,000. So one of the things I want to authentically share as a business person who runs an office as a dentist, that we are doing a lot of work to get people to pay in full. So we have the money to pay our staff, pay the supplies. So we're not as crazy about a 5 to 15% reduction. Another layer of this, which is really great for our webinar as an associate, that we're talking about associates, is it would be a factor when you talk about financing if you're already taking a huge adjustment for insurance. But if you're not taking any adjustment for dental insurance, which can be 20 and 30%, taking 5 to 11% is not a big deal if you're getting paid in full. Does that make sense to you, Tal?
Yeah, and I'll say, Paul, there's one more thing. All your numbers are right. Paul was about to leave the office without getting the treatment, right? That's $2,000. That was too much for Paul. He was about to leave. So making, 85% of $2,000 is better than not making anything. And you already,
I agree. Let me jump in because we have more good questions, which is what this is all about. Can you use this with dental insurance? I'm going to answer how I think, because Tal's job is to be like a credit card that's easy to use. So we just put in the money that the patient needs to pay. You don't care if it's 50% of an insurance payment or not. So it's a really good question.
Exactly.
Be on the webinar, be a panelist next time. We're going to hold you to that. I really, really think you're thinking in the right way, but it's just, if it's $4,000 for Sunbit, you're getting $4,000 from the insurance, just like Care Credit, just like a credit card. Credit card removes 3% right off the bat. So really good question. And is this applicable to service? Yeah, for sure. I will share, just because I like to be someone who teaches. The more dental insurance you take, the more complex your thought process has to be about how you take payments on a variety of levels, how insurance pays, what you can do, what the adjustments are going to do. So it works for both insurance and fee-for-service offices, Tal?
Yeah.
But I'll share as a Nacho guy that the more insurance you take, because I have one office that was really involved with insurance, we're kind of unwinding that, but it's just more complicated financially. So really good questions. I want to add in, you can text Sunbit. We have a special Nacho landing page you made for us, right, Tal? What happens if they text in? Do they get a demo, free nachos?
Yeah, so I did the quick demo here, but basically you'll sign up. One of our associates will reach out to you, do a Zoom call just like this walk you through all the questions, all the pricing, all the information. It's a half-hour call, and you'll have all the information you need. And if you're interested, you sign up, and then we launch you guys.
So I encourage you to just by texting Sunbit to 215-543-6454. We had another great question. Does it work for any dental office? Is there any restrictions on a dental office?
Yeah, no, it's up to $10,000. So basically, any dental office could use it. There's no limitation.
Well, I appreciate you sharing. I appreciate you being an awesome sponsor, taking the time, get back to the Fun Summit, and we'll see you. Hopefully we'll see you in person in Philadelphia soon.
Thank you so much, guys.
Awesome,
appreciate it.
So
have a good one.
As we bring up our next awesome sponsor, I just want to share that we have a CBCT sponsor who couldn't be on the show. But when I started CBCTs, you can only buy them new. But like cars now, you can buy pre-owned CBCTs up to new ones. So I don't know if you've ever noticed this. Dentists have a tendency to get bored of stuff and they trade in their old CBCT, and you may be able to buy it if you're a startup or an acquisition. So you can text renew to 215-543-6454. They're super nice. Nate Hudson and his team, they do CBCTs from like 20 grand up to 100 grand, just like a pre-owned car, which may fit. So if you're an associate in a dental office that wants to place implants and the practice owner says, I'm not investing $75,000, I still think they should, but if they're investing it, they could invest $20,000 or $30,000 in a pre-owned CBCT. So highly recommend another JFO there. So I'm going to bring up one of my favorite people, the awesome Dr. Laurel Gans. She can start her video when she starts. So Laurel, there's a couple of things I want you to talk about. But first, we had a really great post today of a D3 student who thought she does not like dentistry. She's not so sure she wants to do it. And what is out there for her? And while we can't solve all these problems via Zoom, and we're here to be supportive, and there's some great comments. I also recommend that people get all the support for their mental health that they need. There's very interesting stories in dentistry, and Laurel Gans has one. So just tell us your dental life. You went to dentistry, you're a dentist. You're not a practicing dentist. I know our audience is like, here, just tell us the Laurel story.
Here's the Laurel story. So I graduated dental school in 2014. I practiced, for a few years, made sure to pay off my loans, saved up some money. I could tell I was getting injured really even in dental school, like back pain, wrist pain. So I decided to cut back once I saved up some money, and I was cutting back, 2-3 days a week. But, anyone who's ever had like a running injury or anything like that knows no one would tell you, oh, just run 20 hours a week and it'll heal. Like, that doesn't happen. So, but it was really hard to kind of let go because, you work so hard for it and everything. And there were a couple big turning points. One was when my twin needed surgery. She's also a dentist, and she was getting a very similar injury to mine on her wrist. And once she got surgery and I saw the recovery, I'm like, I don't want that. And the other thing that came up was a global pandemic, which was kind of a big step back, and okay, let's take a look at everything and decide kind of what's our next step going to be. Because, working a couple of days a week here or there is not going to be a life plan.
I love you sharing that. Let me just interject for a second. So one of the things I try to do is bring the JBR, the Just Be Real stuff. So you didn't stop being a dentist because you hated dentistry. You could not stand it. You had a legitimate challenge. And you said, I don't know if my body can do this for the rest of my life. I want to make a shift. Now you can keep going, but tell us about this mindset shift and some of the things you thought about shifting to do that still might be able to use your dental background, but not have to be chairside.
Sure. There were a lot of things I looked into. Before the pandemic, I was actually offered a job with Delta Dental to do kind of insurance claims. It was February of 2020. Nobody knew quite what was coming. And I was going to, get rid of my apartment in Cleveland and move to Atlanta by myself to kind of work in a cubicle. But there was no growth in it. It was basically like, okay, so
super fun. Delta Dental cubicle does not sound super fun.
No. And I was like, well, can you work remote? Like February 2020. Oh no, there's no options for being remote. Cut to 6 weeks later. I'm sure there was 6 weeks later. But at that time, there was no option for being remote. There was no option for growth. There was nothing. So I said, I'm not moving to Atlanta. So I looked into some other options, like doing some dental writing, doing some medical writing, but you played a big role in the next step.
I'd like to say this. So I want to make sure we set the stage for this. So you were searching around your twin and you saw a text code just like this, right?
Yep.
That said, if you want to text in and work for our brokerage company, I work with Bob Septak. He's awesome. United Dental Brokers America. I'm the PA and part of New Jersey broker. So if you're interested in learning about a broker life, you just want to find out what it means, talk to Laurel, text this number in. She'll tell you about it. Doesn't mean you have to be a broker tomorrow, but tell us, you texted in, you saw this crazy nacho guy, me. You texted in, and then what happened?
I was like, Steph, do you know them? And she's like, I don't know them personally, but they've got a great reputation. Why don't you just talk to them? So I had a Zoom call with Bob the next week. And then a few weeks later, I was starting and I had a whole new career. So it was.
Sometimes people are lucky to have both people. Wasn't both. So we're lucky to have you at UDBA. And I know you feel fortunate. We got to meet in person. So a day in the life of Laurel, you help us find other brokers. I've helped us. I know you're not allowed to say who your favorite broker is, me, but still, you have all these brokers across the country, and I help you find them and see if they're, so we lift more. We have Lydia, we have Max. Tell us a little bit about, someone's texting and saying, hey, I would like to be a broker, a lead generator. What do they do? What do you guys tell them about that?
Sure. So we kind of discussed the position a little bit. We discussed that the important things are skills that you already have. So you're going to be connected in the dental community. You're going to be willing to put yourself out there. You're going to be willing to talk to people and go to dental CE events and study clubs and the golf outings. And you're going to find who's selling next. And you're going to convince them to list with us because we know we're the best. And then you're going to help guide them through that process. But the actual process of brokering and guiding them through, we can train you on. Bob Septak, he's our owner. He's fantastic. He can teach you all of that. But the basic skills have to be there. You have to be someone who's outgoing and a gunner and just go for it.
And the good part, though, a couple of things I want to add is I started with Bob, well, even before Dental Nachos, 2016. I remember sitting in with that coffee shop saying, hey, Bob, I want to do this job. I love helping dentists solve high-level problems. I think I would be good at it. I think there's an opportunity to make revenue. It's transactional revenue. It's different than dental work. You do a crown, you make $1,000, you get paid $300. This is, you could work and make $30,000. Sometimes you work and make $0. So it is a sales-based job. That was exciting to me. But I said, Bob, what do I have to do to be a broker? I'm like, what test do I have to pass? He goes, nothing. You're a broker. I go, wow, that was pretty easy. But because of that, the field is contaminated with some irresponsible players. So we strive to be really responsible in how we treat both the buyers and sellers and giving them good information. Is that what you guys go through as part of the training process? The LOIs?
Absolutely. So we have a whole manual. We do a whole Zoom class where we go through everything from start to finish, you know, what you have to do. And then our cell phones are always right on us. So once you get started, even when there's more questions, and there's going to be lots of questions, the brokers know they can text me anytime and I'll text them right back. And, you know, some of our brokers, I've been happy to bring on some of my great friends from dental school, and it's just been a great experience for everybody.
Yeah, it's a fun thing. You get to solve high-level problems. You get to do it anytime, anywhere, which has good parts and challenging parts. But if you're the type of person who says, hey, I don't know if I'm going to do, I mean, also, here's what I'll say. I still go to my dental office. I'm going tomorrow to my dental office. Do the brokers still practice dentistry, most of the ones you work with?
Absolutely. So most of them are still practicing probably 3 to 5 days a week.
Yeah.
You know, it varies for everybody, but yeah, a lot of them are practicing full time and they're able to do it between patients. They do it on the weekends. I know my friend Lydia, who's now covering Nashville, you know, she practices 4 days a week, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those are her brokerage days. So, you know, in addition to texting between patients, that's when she'll go visit practices and, you know, take care of all her brokering work.
You never know where life takes you, Laura. You met her. Jill's on the call. She was a physical therapist. Now she's the director of Dentist Job Connect. How does she do that? Made it up. So Jill's here too. So I know you Jill a lot in our team. So before we start our associate question webinar, how can people reach out to you? We have this text broker here to 215-543-6454. What states are you looking for now, and how can they reach out to you?
So the biggest areas we're still looking for New York City, Chicago, parts of Texas, mostly Austin, Houston, and Dallas, and really any other big major metropolitan area. So if they're interested, they can email me directly at Laurel, that's LAUREL, at U, D as in dog, B as in boy, A.biz.
And if you just want to remember, text broker at 215-543-6454. Yeah, well, Laurel, thanks. You came to Super Dentist Boost. It was great having you. Tell the crowd here, you know, when did you graduate from dental school?
2014.
So whether you're a dental student, whether you're a new dentist, whether you're a broker person, and it's not so that it's just to make me feel good, what was the value of coming to Super Dentist Boost, and why should somebody want to put themselves in that room like that?
Oh, it was everything. It was just, you got to network with so many different aspects of the industry and meet everybody. And I think, a million Zoom calls can't add up to one breakfast together or one dinner together.
Totally believe. I'm totally with you. And it's just about people being people and bringing your real person self first, your weird dentisting self second, and having food, eating at a mommy dumpling, sharing the challenges, the stresses. I mean, Jill's on here. She would say that like being a mom is super stress-free and there's never any problems. Just joking. Her last 3 days have been crazy, but being a parent is awesome. It's also can be awful. It can be enjoyable. It could be annoying. That's what being a dentisting human is like. And we should have more authentic conversations together. So we're going to do more of that, Laurel. Thanks so much for being you. Really appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me. Bye.
Awesome, guys. So we are going to transition to our fun associate questions. The best part about this is when you guys ask me questions. So I'm going to play a short video. Then we're going to have a fun 20-ish minute segment where we're going to go over 3 questions you must answer yes to. You're ready for an associate. But what I like the best is questions. So if you do the questions, I'm here by myself at Nacho headquarters. If you could put them in the Q&A, I will be able to read them better. Put any question in the Q&A. Should you get a daily safety net guarantee? What's your restrictive covenant be? Should I be employee or W-2? Who do I ask if I feel like crying inside? All those questions. So we're going to just watch a quick video, then we're going to get started. Should dental associates get a daily safety net guarantee? When you go to work as a dental associate, should you be provided with a base pay no matter what? This is Paul, Dr. Nacho Goodman, and my answer to that question is yes. I'm going to be sharing tips on how to hire an associate and find a job without burning your nachos. This is a super fun and super free show where I'm going to teach you the 3 questions to ask and know how to answer to be successful in this bonding process between dentists. Get it? Bonding process. Also, if you text KARMA to 215-543-6454, we're going to text you back a totally free CE gift. So join me for this awesome show. So we have an awesome text KARMA thing. When you get it back, if you're watching this 4 years from now, KARMA may not work, but it works now. It comes with an awesome Nacho webinar about how to find a job. So my whole goal is to interact with you. So while I'm going to go over stuff and help you with stuff, I would love to know your questions. That's what matters most to me. How do I find a lawyer to read my dental? Great question to start off. How do I find a lawyer to read my dental contract before I accept a position? And how do you find out if they're charging appropriately? One of my favorite questions. So I'm an equal opportunity lawyer. If you do not have your dental focused attorney review a contract, you're nacho nuts. If you have a problem later, you caused it, because when you have a dental focused attorney review your contract, 2 good things happen. If you have a dental focused attorney review your contract, 2 good things happen. 1, dental focused attorney says, you're going to work for Dr. Paul Goodman and his brother. This looks like a reasonable contract. The restrictive covenant's 5 miles. Maybe you can get it down to 3 miles. Okay, 5 to 3. But if not, it's a reasonable contract. That's great. So if you pay the cost for this is usually $750 to $1,500, but it doesn't matter what the cost is, because this can burn your nachos and cost you tens of thousands of dollars. So if you hear the attorney says that, well worth it. You feel good. Here's the other good thing that happens. I'm sorry, but there's 6 red flags and we haven't even got to page 2. The restrictive covenant is aggressive. You may have to pay back money that you made for the office. Watch this one. It's a real one. There is a dentist on planet Earth that I know working with your dental lawyer, Rob Montgomery, my friend, my podcast partner, my personal attorney. So just put yourdentallawyer.com in the chat, or if you want to text in dental attorney to 215-543-6454, my team will text it back. But this is a real thing. Super awesome associate wanted to leave her job and start her own practice or buy a practice. She signed a contract where she wasn't allowed to use her own name in the title of the office. She signed a contract where she wasn't allowed to promote it on social media. Rob and his team didn't see her first contract. They were trying to help her out of the second contract. So there's only 2 reasons you don't hire a dental focused attorney. 1, your dentist cheap. Dentist cheap means trying to save money here and costing yourself a lot of money here. The other one is you don't know a dental focused attorney, and we solved that. yourdentallawyer.com, Rob Montgomery, theDentalAmigos.com is our podcast. You can drop that in the chat, theDentalAmigos.com. We go over tons and tons of awesome information. So love that question. I do see, I'm not as young as some of you guys in here, but maybe some people my age. Like when I see what are the top 3 metrics to consider when hiring an associate, I'm pretty nervous to go back to work after leaving my job. I love these questions, but if you just could pop them over into the Q&A, I can keep track of it. Because I did this answer, how do you find a dental focused attorney to review your contract? And we answered that live. So let's just make this a fun reading thing. Do not hire an associate unless you can say yes to these 3 questions. Now, I have a question for you guys. Type in the chat, raise your hand if you're looking for a job right now. In the looking phase of a job, raise your hand. If you're looking for a job in that phase, okay? Some people are doing that. Raise your hand if you're looking to hire an associate. Some people are doing that. So we are going to share the questions the practice owner must answer yes to. And watch this. These are ones you would want to ask. So we're all in this together. So both of your hygienists need an exam at the same time. That happens quite a bit. It's very annoying. Your team squeezed in an emergency over lunch after squeezing in 2 in the morning, and the class 2 ring thingy just flew across the room and is pinging around on the floor. Wish we had carpets. No pinging with carpets. You start thinking to yourself, I need help, or else I'm going to move into the middle of the woods and live with the forest creatures. Maybe I can do implant overdentures on turtles. Do turtles even have good dental insurance? You are snapped out of your daydream by your hygienist, giving you such a strong eye rolls that if you do not go to the exam soon, they're going to sprain one of their eyes. You don't need to move into the middle of the woods and you can get an associate instead, or is it time? So this is a common thing practice owners feel, busy and stressed, and they think, I want to hire an associate. But they need to be able to answer these questions to hire an associate for you not to burn your nachos and for them not to burn your nachos. So let's keep going here for a second. I just want to move this out of the way here. Getting some good questions in the Q&A. Good. So I want to share 3 questions you should ask yourself as a solo dentist practice owner before hiring an associate. Mirror, mirror on my operatory wall that no one has cleaned recently. If I hire an associate, am I okay with making less money? Very key. So when you are a solo GP, you might be listening to this live. You might be applying for a job. You might be listening to this 5 years from now. If you are doing $1 million a year as a solo GP and you are making $400,000 a year and you think I am stressed and I need help, you will immediately make less money when you hire an associate. Why? You have to pay the associate, you have to pay the associate's assistant, and most of all, you're going to give some of your work that you make your total profit on to somebody else. So immediately, to get that associate a schedule, you're going to share your work nachos. So if you do not want to make less money, don't hire an associate. Will you make less money forever? I don't know. Possibly, possibly not. But immediately, you will make less money. It's an expense. It's an expense that may work for your morale. But if you do not want to make less money, if your 3 kids go to private school, while they're going to private school, on top of private school, and you can't make $1 less, you got to keep being stressed. So before I move on, I'm going to answer a question, but does anyone have any questions about that segment? About how a practice owner, solo GP for their first associate, immediately makes less money. If you're not okay with that, don't hire one. If you are, let's keep going. The reason a practice owner will make less money when hiring an associate is that the practice owner looking to hire an associate is dentisting at max capacity. It may be very stressed, but also very profitable. You're going to share this with your associates. Some dentists cannot make less money because they send multiple children to college and make their next boat payment on a boat they name the Krebs cycle. So does anyone have any yes or no questions about that? Great. That was question number 1. Are you okay making less money? I'm pretty nervous to go back to work after leaving my job because of the bad experience. How do I shift out of this mindset and search for the right associate opportunity since I'm essentially a new grad with little experience? So love this question. There's so many of you out there. I'm a new grad. My first job didn't work out well. I've left. What do I do? So first of all, stop judging yourself. And I know it's hard, whether you have to read books, whether you get mental health counseling, whether you get a coach, whether you just listen to podcasts. It's very philosophical. But unless you have a DeLorean from Back to the Future, I'm old, you can't go back in time. You can only move forward. So say to yourself, self, that was the learning experience I got. I am now going to look for a better situation. What I would do is I would look to observe dentists without working there. I would look to connect with good dentists in the area, whether they need an associate or not, and say, hey, could I come hang out for the day? I'll buy the team lunch, or I'll just hang out for the day and maybe just take a little bit of a pause. Doesn't mean you're not going to work forever, but just take a step back. Think about, write down before it gets out of your mind, things you definitely don't want in your next job. Write down things you do. And I interviewed Talon Davis today, Dr. Talon Davis, out of dental school. He's a practice owner now, doing over $1 million a year, doing great. It's not about him bragging, not about him being better, just an inspiring story. Someone who graduated in 2018 is doing over $1 million in his practice right now. I asked him about finding his job. He said he applied to 6 to 8 jobs before he took one. And he saw one where he knew there was going to be the right type of mentorship for him. So look at as many jobs as possible, go on as many job interviews as possible, and definitely get a dental focused attorney to review your contract. Also, text Carmen 215-543-6454. Watch the whole webinar that I put together so you can go through the checklist of what will help you be more successful. Second question. First question, can I make less money? Yes, keep going. No, no associate. Second question, do I want to mentor and manage another dentist during my daily dental day? If your answer is no, don't hire an associate. You're going to need to mentor. You're going to need to look at x-rays. You're going to need to help this awesome dentist in your practice, whether they're 1 month out of dental school or 10 years out, because it's your practice. You know the patients, you know the team, you know crazy Millie who never wants a crown, even though she should get a crown. So you're going to need to mentor and manage a whole nother dentist while you're dentisting. If your answer is no, this will never work, don't hire an associate. An associate dentist may be super competent clinically, but they have never worked with your team, your materials, your operatory, your stool, your patients, your delivery unit that sometimes needs a few taps on the right side to get it going. Think of it like cooking a meal in someone else's kitchen. Really valuable. Golden nacho tip. Why are you slower when you go to a new office? Why do you have challenges? Imagine making your favorite meal with someone else's cooking utensils. It would be difficult till you got used to doing it over and over again. It requires a special energy on your part. I like this energy. I enjoy it. My brother and I train our newest associate, who's awesome, but it's extra energy, especially my brother who's there at the practice more than me right now. He's using extra energy. It's worth it for multiple reasons for us. So we have someone on our team. So we have someone to help us with our patients, but it does require mentor and management energy. So if the answer is no, don't hire an associate. So 3, do I want to share my patient relationships with another dentist? So key. You've been the dentist there at Dr. Nachos' House of Guac. When that patient says, I don't want to see the new associate, Dr. Jill, she's too new, she's too young, what are you going to say? Are you ready to share those relationships? Are you ready to look at that patient and say this, golden nacho tip? If you're a solo GP adding an associate, this is what you say. Listen to this part. It's very key. My new associate, Dr. Jill, is awesome. She's learned new techniques, and I would have her do procedure that I'm recommending for you in my mouth. I would have her do a crown in my mouth. I would have her do this filling in my mouth. You look at Millie and you tell her that authentically. If you can't tell her authentically, don't hire an associate. Doesn't mean the associate's as fast as you. Doesn't mean they put in secondary anatomy. If you put in secondary anatomy, I don't know if anyone needs to put in secondary anatomy, but maybe you're a secondary anatomy fan. It just means that you would have that associate work in your mouth. So make sure you pick procedures to get them started off in a comfortable way. I just posted on Dental Nachos that our associate yesterday did roughly $2,800 worth of fillings and prophies. We're starting her off in a comfortable way. She earned $900 that day. That's a pretty good day. We want her to meet the patients and not feel pressured. We don't want her to do 3 surgical extractions on someone she never met. That stuff goes sideways. Patient relationships are important. So to review, are you ready to make less money? Yes, keep going. No, stop. Are you ready to mentor and manage another dentist during your dental day? Yes, keep going. No, stop. Do I want to share my patient relations with my team and another dentist? Yes, keep going. No, stop. And you notice I didn't talk about EBITDA. I didn't talk about profit. I didn't talk about any of those things yet. That will be in our next segment, because EBITDA doesn't matter if you can't say yes to those things. How many new patients you have in your office doesn't matter unless you can say yes to those things. Dental offices are people places, not pizza places. People places, not pizza places. So in future episodes of this, I will talk about EBITDA. I will talk about new patients. I will talk about production per hour, but it doesn't matter until you get this. Dental Nachos team, Jill, Director of Job Connect. This is the first piece people watch, the conceptual piece. Are you ready to make less money? At least for a year. Are you ready to share your patient relationships? Are you ready to mentor and manage another dentist? As you can see here, this was from one of our emails. We help dentists find jobs and we help dentists hire associates. We like it. It's like a match.com or a care.com or something like that, where we're matching people up to the best of our ability. We don't know everything about every practice we advertise. We don't know everything about an associate. We're connecting you to go on some dental dates, ask each other questions, ask about philosophy of occlusion. Just kidding. Don't ask that. You want a good question? You're looking for a job? Here's really good advice right now for the person looking for a job. The person who authentically said, I'm nervous to go back to find a job. Listen, this is for you and anyone else like you. You're nervous to find a job. You're not sure. Your first job stunk. When you get to the interview process where you're thinking about how much production they have, say, for this position that you're looking to fill, what total production do you see a month for the associate position? So watch, I'll ask this to myself. Hey, Dr. Nacho, this is Paul. Dr. Paul, what total production do you see per month is? That's a really good question. A lot of associates ask that. We see between $30,000 and $40,000 a month. You can expect to make between $10,000 to $15,000 a month working with us. So I know immediately I've managed their expectations. If they need to make $25,000 a month, it's not a good fit. No big deal. We have positions for $300,000 a year. Other people who might want to work as part of a team with my brother and me might be perfect. So that there is awesome advice. That's a great question to ask. Let's go through some questions here with you guys. I see you put them in chat. We did pretty nervous to go back to work. Any advice for a dentist that has not worked for 3 years and it's time to go back to work? That's awesome. You're ready to go back to work for whatever reason. Feel free to connect with us directly. I want to share here. I'm going to share this video here in a second. Just want to share. I've done a lot of these webinars. Look at this thing on the right-hand side. I got this on Monday. I was driving back. My wife was driving, and I was answering questions on our community text line from an awesome dentist. And he said, by the way, your tip about having a small intro video with your resume has really helped me, my friends. Many thanks. I said, that's awesome. So if you want to see the video, which I'm going to share so you can look at it, I highly recommend you make one of these. Just text BTL video to this. If you want me to help you one-on-one with this process, I'm totally willing to. It's super affordable, super fun. My jokes are free. You don't have to do that. You don't need to get my help. But if you want a deeper dive in this, I'm glad to help you. Any advice for a new dentist to not work for 3 years? One, identify which clinical procedures you're comfortable with, fillings, crowns. Take some updated C on those. Figure out what you can offer to an office. Exams, prophies, crowns, fillings, get started. And then be yourself. Be authentic. Hey, I haven't worked for 3 years, but I'm excited to get back working. I'm going to need some time to be able to do endo or extractions or things like that. And go on as many interviews and find the right fit for you. But identify procedures you're comfortable with. Take some updated C. We have some on Dental Nachos. There's some all over the internet, Facebook, podcast on that. That's my advice there. When you're a new grad associate interviewing, how do you gauge if the dentist is going to put out the energy to mentoring? What would be a professional way to ask that? Amazing question. So one, golden nacho tip. This is what you say. I'm interviewing myself. I'm Dr. Paul, Dr. Nacho's office. Hi, I'm Dr. Nacho. I'd like to hire you. You look awesome. Oh, great, Dr. Nacho. I'm Dr. Paul. Would it be okay if I came by for half a day and observe? I'll wear scrubs. You don't have to pay me. I would just like to observe the office. Okay. And here's what you do. Don't ask to be paid. It's not a working interview. I don't like working interviews. Not my thing. I don't know why you just show up and you do a root canal on someone you never met before. I'm not a fan of working interviews. They can be very dangerous. I've hired 8 to 10 dentists. We've had 0 working interviews. Okay. Working interviews, not a fan. Huge risk. I don't think it's fair to the patient, the team, or you. Back to your question over here. When you observe on that day and you're hanging out for half the day or a day, see how much extra time that dentist has. So if you watch my office, you'll see my brother up at his computer doing some stuff, looking at charts, talking to our office manager. That's someone who has some time. If you see someone running around like a Tasmanian dentist, like that Tasmanian devil cartoon, hygiene check to this. Where are they going to have the time to do the mentorship? They might have the time after hours or before, but there's a lot of stuff you have to do in game coaching. I have this basketball to remind me of my failed dreams of dunking a basketball and playing the NBA, but observation of it. And maybe just say, hey, I am new to the dental industry. I'm super, instead of saying you're a new dentist, say you're new to the private practice, new to DSO. I mean, you're a new dentist. That's cool. Don't have to hide it, but say, I'm new to private practice. I'm really motivated. I'm excited. I've been doing this for 2 years. I'm really looking for more mentorship than in my previous job. Do you see that fitting into your schedule? That's the question. Do you see that fitting into your schedule, or do you have too much like chaos going on? Because I know not chaos. Do you have too many patients to do that? Because then the dentist can say, my brother and I would say, we could do it. Somebody who, like one of the guys on Facebook who I'm thinking of, he runs around like a crazy person. He probably doesn't have time to do that. Really, really awesome question. So I'm only going to spend a few more minutes here. I answered some questions, but what I would love from all these awesome people that are watching it with us, let me share this BTL video. So this video that is free to make, and I made an example, is what I believe you should make for your email signatures, your LinkedIn, whatever you are doing to showcase yourself. Make it comfortable, make it safe, make it authentic. Watch mine. It's just some details about me. Do you want to share? You don't have to give out your regular phone number. You can get a Google Voice number if you're concerned about that. I totally get that. Create a professional email. How about you do that? Instead of making fancy pants 123 at Hotmail, create a professional email where you bucket this. I think that's a great idea. Create a professional email to create a bucket of all this stuff. So you make this BTL video, super short, put it on Facebook, it's free. If you want this example, just text BTL at 215-543-6454. But if you have any last minute questions, I'll answer them after the video. And I would love for you guys to do this. Put one thing in the chat. We're all here, we're hanging out. Nacho team, copy and paste these or take a picture of them. We spent like 30 minutes together, okay? It's like a TV show, 40 minutes. What's one thing that you learned tonight that you think will help you as a dentist and human? Maybe it's about sponsor Sunbit from the financial thing. Maybe it's about being a broker. Maybe it's about a BTL video. Maybe it's about the 3 questions, but just type in the chat. Would really help me. Would you help me by sharing one thing that you learned tonight? And here's the video for us to watch together.
Tell me when I can go. Hi, my name is Paul Dr. Nacho Goodman. I went to Penn Dental School and graduated in 2002. After dental school, I did a GPR residency at Albert Einstein where I learned how to place implants, do endo, get faster with restorative procedures. I would love to find a job in the Philadelphia area, and I would love to meet you. My cell phone is 267-896-1942. My email is paul@dentalnachos.com. Please feel free to reach out to me at any time.
So that's it. It's the whole thing. Just say something about yourself. If you want that video, text BTL to 215-543-6454. You'll get that video. Watch whatever you want. Copy mine exactly. Whatever you want to do, make it 30 seconds. As we get to the end of this webinar, I want to read what people have learned. Jill said, yeah, she can't wait to see your videos. If you guys text us your videos, we'll look at them. People have made them. We always want to give recordings of this. So if you want to watch this again, it's totally free to do so. We will be able to do it through the Nacho team. Let me just make something for my team right now. Text 3 questions. Let's just call it text 3 questions at 215-543-6454. So have them make a code for that. And we're going to put this video in, which is going to be done here in a minute. Let me just stop our live stream. I lost my.
Tell me when I can go.
Good.
Hi, my name.
Good. All right, perfect.